All right, so I'm watching Hot Boxing with Mike. Zab Judah, Devin Haney, and Bill Haney is on there. And I get to watching it and shit. And, they talking about whatever the fuck they talk about. But I want to speak about the part where, of course, like always, they on there panhandling and shit like that. And that's exactly what I call it. Call it Mike Tyson always fucking up somebody's name. He called Bermain Esteban or Esteban. He said, "What's that guy named Esteban or whatever? Little chubby little dude." You gotta love Mike, man. You really do. But getting back on Devin Haney and Bill Haney up on their panhandling and shit like that. I'm like, look, man. I get trying to make fights. I champion Devin Haney's mentality and wanting to fight the best or whatever and whatnot. But now it's to the point where I have to look at it like another level, and it's panhandling to me because they basically implying that Teofimo Lopez is scared. It's the same old shit, and I'm about a lot of things, and I'm about people, going out here and getting what's theirs, and I don't mind how you try to make the fight. But one thing I don't like is calling somebody scared who blatantly is not scared of you. Calling somebody a ducker who blatantly is not a ducker, okay? Because if he's all that, then what does it look like? He has gotten further along in his career with less fights than you. I will wait. Once again, when it comes to Devin Haney and Bill Haney, what stopped you from doing the same thing that Teofimo Lopez did? Okay? You don't want the Lomachenko fight. You basically said, well, he didn't mention me, so fuck him. I'm not going to fight him. You know what I'm saying? Basically acting like, you're too good for Lomachenko now. Since Lomachenko ignored you, then fuck him and stuff like that. Isn't that the same thing that you claim is being done to you? Somebody acting like they too big or too above you to do that? See, because it's the same thing. You're basically saying, since Lomachenko didn't pay me any attention, I'm not entertaining him. Even though you're not here to basically play footsies with the guy. You're just here to use his name to help propel you up the ladder. But I'm going to digress on that. But at the same time, if Teofimo Lopez says you ain't done shit, which you haven't, because you 24, 25 fights in, and somebody with 16 fights has a better resume than you at this point in time. Somebody like Ryan Garcia resume is challenging yours at this point, and some would say it's better. And this is the thing. You're more deeper fights in than both of these guys. Yet both of these guys managed to get a proper step-up fight before you. The real question that Devin Haney and Bill Haney needs to be pondering is, why you up here panhandling for these fights and begging for these fights and everybody duck you, whatever, and I'm tired of saying this, what can you do in the meantime, in between time, that's going to help build your brand outside of crying about Teofimo Lopez, outside of crying about Ryan Garcia, outside of crying about Tank Davis? What can you do on your own to make a case for yourself to get these fights? Not just sit back, not do anything, and keep asking for the fight. Because aren't you now saying that Lomachenko is not worth your time a day? Okay, but Lomachenko has still went out here and accomplished things. So how is he not worth your time a day? Okay, and now people that's telling you you're not worth our time a day because you haven't done anything, which you really haven't. You know what I'm saying? The Gamboa fight should have happened 10 fights ago. You know what I'm saying? 10 fights ago. Not after this person and beat him up, that person and beat him up, this person and beat him up. Now, give and take. I did pull back and say that, you know what? I'm going to give him more credit for beating Gamboa because Gamboa was a hell of an opponent. He's still a tough guy. But You have to understand with the way you set yourself up and the shit that you was talking and the judgments you was making against other boxers, you set yourself up there like you was gonna go in there and knock this guy, you know what I'm saying, just straight the fuck out. Which you didn't. But I don't knock it because, it's Gamboa. He tough as fuck. But Gamboa is an even more worn down Gamboa than what you got. Okay? Even more worn down Gamboa than what you got. Okay? Tank help chip his ass down the size for you. You know what I'm saying? And then you got a hold on him. So, yes, we was expecting a little bit better. But I'll digress and say, you know what? Still give him credit for that because Gamboa is still a hell of a dude. You know what I'm saying? Nonetheless, it still doesn't take away from the fact that why does it take you this long to get a fight like that? When people like Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez has shown you they've got it early in their career. Yet you are behind these guys. For somebody to have as many fights as you do, it looks bummish for you to be running behind these guys and begging for fights. But let's freeze it. Like I keep saying and keep asking, what can you do? Who can you fight that's going to help shut people up to get you closer to these fights that you say that everybody's trying to shut you out from getting? Okay? Because all Teofimo Lopez wants is some money. If you got the money, he got the fight for you. Okay? That's simple. What are you going to do to raise your value? Raise your stake? You've had a head start on these guys, so what is the problem? I'm not understanding. Okay? And when it comes to Bill Haney, I'm just going to be honest. Bill Haney, as a grown man, is disappointing because it's obviously he's living his second childhood through his son. Okay? Bill Haney is taking all listen, this is just a ride for Bill Haney. Bill Haney just want to be seen, heard, be important. I watched him for a while, okay? Because Bill Haney at times act real fucking immature. You know what I'm saying? This is just, you know what I'm saying? He just riding the high off this shit. You know what I'm saying? Just here talking shit. The question is, what fights can you, it's obviously not going to be your next fight, okay? Because Teofimo Lopez has somebody, he has a mandatory. God knows who Ryan Garcia is. So, what do you do in between time? Still stay on the sidelines complaining? No, go out there and get a fight. Chase Nakatani or something. Do something. Just like, listen, it's equivalent. Let's take Teofimo Lopez, for instance. Teofimo Lopez wanted to come straight in and get a shot at Lomachenko, right? But he couldn't, because what did he have to go do? He had to go build his worth. Okay? He had to go build his worth. And notice, Teofimo Lopez didn't complain. He accepted. He's like, you know what? They right. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and get the belt and all this stuff. And if they still bullshit me after that, then y'all know it's some shit in the game. Now, if he had it his way, Teofimo Lopez would have jumped from whoever his last fight was, skip the Richard Comey fight and go straight into the Teofimo Lopez fight. But he had to make himself valuable to motherfucking Teofimo Lopez, his team, in the situation. That's what he went and did. Show me Devin Haney's version of going out there making himself valuable so he can get these fights that he's talking about. You're not doing the work, buddy. It's simple as that. I understand being shut out. I understand trying to fight the best and not getting the fights. But I do understand when people are saying, dude, you have to do something. And Devin, is true. You have to go do something in between time. And then, once you do something like that, you get somebody like me saying, look, Devin Haney went out here and did this and did that. He built up this worth. Get his kid a fucking shot. That's when I'll make those kind of videos. But in the meantime, you just up here panhandling, calling people hoes and whatnot, but they beat the motherfucker that, number one, you don't want to fight, and who gave you a belt. You can legitimize yourself by chasing Lomachenko. He's still good for it. He's still good for it. But obviously, you too big, and I don't know why, because who did you beat to make yourself feel so big? You know what I'm saying? You're not a fucking superstar. You're not a bigger star than Teofimo Lopez. You're not a bigger star than Ryan Garcia. You're not a bigger star than Javante Tank Davis. But you got as many fights as all these guys. So explain. Explain. Stop going up here panhandling. It looked bummish. And at the end of the day, although I can separate business and this and from emotions and stuff like that, it make me not like you. You know what I'm saying? It makes me, I know you got the work ethic. I know you got the mentality. Go out here and do something. Then I can back that shit up. But in the meantime, bro, you just one of those guys standing on the side of the freeway with a sign. Don't want to do no work, but just want to sit on that crate and have somebody hand you money. Then it's facts. Bruce Vane, I'm out.